Hey, how's everybody? It's been a long time, but I'm back at it because it's not so hot out here anymore, so I can get a couple things done. But, um, oh, there's no but. This like the beginning of the second spring, summer's coming down, the temperatures aren't in the hundreds anymore, so you can actually get outside and do some things without passing out in these streets. So, just a quick look around of what things look like. So I have my prickly pear cactus here. I've trimmed it severely. I've put more soil in there, and that's ready to go throughout the winter. Don't need to do anything more to that other than pull out the occasional weed from the center. Um, this pot will probably stay here. It has an azalea in it, has a coleus that'll get pulled out once that fizzles out and dies. It has some evergreen stone crop sedum in here that stays, and that's all that's in here. There was some celosia in the back that they've been pulled out, and so that's good. Crepe myrtle, I've done so much research on this because mine's, of course, is getting the powdery mildew, which if crepe myrtles some varieties don't get the proper amount of circulation, even if it appears that it is, if it doesn't feel comfortable, it gets the powdery mildew, which doesn't hurt the plant. It just looks bad. It'll come back next year and it'll be just fine. But for this season, the berries, some of them have the powdery mildew. I can go through and I can try to get that off, but it's okay. It'll make it through this season, and try again next year. Pepper plant did really well. I pulled plenty of peppers off of here. It's full of more. But this pot will come out. This was just here for the season. The barberry looks good. I like the purple color. It came through the fence, and I was trimming it and keeping it behind the fence, but I kind of allowed it to come through the fence, and I think I like that look a lot better. I have this volunteer cosmos. I didn't plant here. I don't think I did. I may have stuck some seeds in there. Me, I do things and forget, but I think that looks good. Some more barberry. Then I have the rose, which is putting on another show here, which is kind of great. I'm contemplating getting rid of it, though. I want to probably get rid of that rose and put a hibiscus here, but that might be too tall and massive. The rose is easy to be trimmed and stays pretty nice, so I don't know. I like it, but sometimes you get to the end of something and you want to enjoy something else. Have some flowers back there coming up. I planted some late in the season. I'm thinking about deadheading this one so that there will be more in the junctions, because it's not going to get to the 10 feet tall that it should. But if I cut the head off, then it'll put more energy into growing other heads along the stem, or I may just leave it as it is. As you can see, that one right there is already starting to put out a flower head, which is quite awesome. And I don't mind them being short. There's a wonderful coleus back there, which is doing quite nicely. That was very small at the beginning of the season, but it has thrived wonderfully. Some teddy bear sunflowers, which are doing their thing. I have this pot here, which has a stone crop in here, which began to suffer a bit because the ants had taken over and kind of like really infested this pot. I've gotten rid of the ant issue and I've placed more soil in here, but now I want to add a little bit of color. I think it will play nicely with the barberry and the other green tones and the bluish green things here. I have a heuchera here, a variegated variety, which replaced the celosia, which had died here. So this is a perennial. It gets down to, I think, negative. Okay, pick up where I left off. So I noticed this area is a little bare here, and I think I'm gonna clean it out a little bit more, and then I picked up these plants today. I have this heuchera here. This is a Cajun fire heuchera. I think I'm gonna place that here. And it'll, like I was saying, it'll complement the barberry over here, which will add a nice bit of color up here in the front. So I think I'm gonna do that there. And I have this one here, which is Little Cuties Forest. Okay, and I gotta find a place for this. Now, things are a little bit overgrown. I'm gonna take care of a lot of this today. The coneflowers are gonna get trimmed down to just the greens, and yeah, but Bird of Paradise looks good. It hasn't put on a blossom. Hopefully we get one. Fingers are crossed. Coleus looks amazing, amazing. Elephant ears, again, bad choice to put them here, but you know, I've been living with them, and that's okay. This was planted this year. This is a coneflower echinacea. I love the color of that. It's a bit bright. It's a bit different from everything else out here, but it picks up in the coleus, so it does have. And then there's another coleus back there, so that yellow tone kind of works its way throughout the garden. The pink and yellow is good. I think this needs a good place though. It could possibly replace this coleus here, which, you know, they're not perennials, they're an annual, so it looks great here now, but of course it will come to an end, and then I could replace it with this. So thinking ahead of the game, I know this is going to come out once it gets cold. I could pop this in, so I could possibly just plant this, put this here, knowing that when that comes out, this comes in, and do it that way. Or maybe I could find another place for it. But I think right here would be great. It would just add, it would break up this green with a little bit of color. Same thing this coleus has done, which was quite lovely. It had a little micro area here, so it survived in the full sun of the front yard. Or I could just pull it out now, but I don't want to do that because it looks so good. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that here for now. Hopefully I don't forget, and hopefully somebody doesn't steal it. But anyway, sunflower here got knocked down in a storm, and it's a fighter. It made a complete 90-degree turn and began to just, you know, keep going like nothing ever happened, which is awesome. This one here is doing its thing. Again, like I said, these coneflowers here, I'll just trim that up and make a nice, just a green tuft of foliage there, like the one in the back here, and let that go for the remainder of the season. I'm going to clean these creeping jennies. I'm going to clean these creeping jennies up that are kind of like swallowing up the texture of the stone, which is just a faux little path that continues up to nowhere, but it breaks up the green, so I have to go in here and clean that up a bit. The sunflowers here, they can go for another week or so, and then I'll clip those out, and then that'll be nice and cleaned up. Back here to cover up my neighbor's tire patch, because I already told them they're ready to harvest those tires, but they haven't listened to me. So, but anyway, that tire patch needs to be blocked, and I have a rose here which struggles. I'm thinking, and there's also a hosta back there. I'm thinking I might get rid of all of that, keep the evergreens here, structure, and plant 2 hardy hibiscus, white, that blossoms are as big as 9 to 10 inches. So I think that'll be nice, and I'll plant that there next to this next to this magnolia. Magnolia is behind the sunflowers here. The magnolia could be trimmed up, and then the hardy hibiscus would fit really nicely in there, and we'll go from that summery pink and purple blossom, spring blossom show, into the summer of the hardy hibiscus, which would be nice, next to the golden arborvitae here, and it'll just be a nice wall of beauty covering up my neighbor's tires, which they did a good job of growing those tires, but I'm tired of seeing it. So yeah, that's everything coming through here. The lemon cypress is doing good. I have another cosmos which hasn't put in any blossoms yet, but hopefully we'll get a couple before the season's over. I have a purple sand cherry here, which is looks crammed, but the coleus is just for the season, so eventually that sand cherry will take over and be a nice purple structure back there. These polka dot plants did wonderful of adding a little bit of texture, or a lot of texture, with the polka dot leaves, and also adding the contrast of color amongst all of this pennywort ground cover, which is invasive, because I know somebody's going to ask, what's the ground cover? It's a pennywort. It's very invasive, but the fact that my garden here is so confined, it can't but invade. It can only invade so much. I see there's the creeping phlox here, which is had a little dieback in the center. I could be a little hurt by that, but I'm not. I could do something about it, like add in this plant, which is a full sun. What is this? A meadow sage. I think I could totally add that in there, and that would add some really nice color, attract butterflies. This is in a pot, so that could be moved. The cosmos is temporary, that'll be moved, so that could be great there. I was contemplating removing one of these boxwoods here, but I like the structure once I clean that up a bit, and it gives me a nice little topiary form, a little spherical shape. I like adding spherical shapes to the garden, as you can see. Just breaks it up. The leaves have a very lobed shape, and then you have these globular shapes in different natural forms, including the green form. So I'll turn it into a globe, and then I have those, so it all kind of works together. Even the centers of these echinacea here have a spherical shape. It was all planned that way. I kind of like repeating textures and putting a lot of things in that complement each other. So yeah, so I think that'll go there. Attract some nice butterflies. I think that looks really good there, actually. And then I have this, which is little golden black eyed Susan. It also is a full sun, and it'll attract butterflies. I could place this, which would have beautiful yellow flowers somewhere. Where? I don't know. But if I had to pick, I would come over here, and I would place it maybe here, maybe right there. Oh, maybe a little closer, right there. So right here, it'll be next to the lemon cypress. It looks good right there next to the coleus, which I may repeat for next year, because I really like how that just did its thing, and with very little care. It's gorgeous. A very gorgeous plant, very nice plant. But anyway, so the black eyed Susan would be here, good here. It may get a little big, so that's why I'm a little concerned about it being there. I could move it over just a touch, and it could work there nicely. Okay, sunflower's trying to eat me. But yeah, cleaning out my bird bath, that's on the list today too. But other than that, I just bought those 4 plants. The heuchera, the what is this called again? The meadow sage. I have the black eyed Susan back there, which has no blossoms, but there are a lot of buds. I get a couple this year to be great for next year. And then just clean up a bit, just trim things down. Everything is in its peak, and it's overgrown, but it's wonderful. I forgot I put that coleus down there. That's adding some really nice complementary color to this coneflower here, so it looks really nice. Just plop that in there, and yeah, you have this, which looks like it needs some iron. This is a hydrangea, and the chartreuse leaves look great next to this chocolate drop coleus, but this dark veining with chartreuse leaf usually is a lack of iron, so I could figure that issue out. I've never grown a hydrangea before, but I'll take this ponytail palm and fern which is grown in this pig here, out and give that some more space, and then I could treat that as in a pot. So that'll be a really easy remedy just to treat that in that pot. Have some monkey grass, some mondo grass, or whatever you want to call it. I have these nasturtiums which have hung on throughout the season. More ponytail palm. This evergreen, it's struggling a bit. It's a little yellow, but it's okay. Coleus, which I can snip these flowers off and get another couple of weeks out of this. It's in a really bad location because this light leaf Coleus doesn't really like the sun, or it likes a more part shade type of environment, but it's hanging in there, and it's adding some really bright color, which is good without being a bunch of flowers. Same for this one. It's struggling, but it's okay. It's hanging in there. Nasturtium looks good. This is called a Thai plant. It's an indoor house plant. It was for me, but I put it outside this season and it has done really nicely. We're in zone 7B, so it will not survive outside. So I either have to find a place inside or kiss it goodbye. But yeah, so those are the plants on the steps, which have been really nice to walk past every day. I also have this crispy nasturtium here. I was trying to let it go to seed and get a couple seeds off of it, but it didn't, and that's okay. But yeah, so I'm going to get to it and do a little bit of work, and then I will show you all a finished product of everything that I stuck in. All right. All I was trying to do was a little garden cleanup, and then all hell broke loose. All I was trying to do was clean up some stuff. I didn't mean to unearth nobody. Y'all go on back and do what y'all was doing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so I got a little bit more to do, but I just wanted to wrap this up and let you all see what I've done so far. So I've just gone around and clipped everything back as hard as I could without causing any damage. The sunflower was growing here. I got rid of it because it was hiding this path and it was really distracting. I cleaned up the stone so you can actually see this path again. I clipped the cone flowers back a bit, but I couldn't bear to take off all the blossoms because I like the color. So I'll leave those. The seed heads looks good until they turn black, and then I kind of like clip those ones out. I planted this meadow sage here, as you can see, so that looks good there. That's going to be wonderful. It's in front of a cosmos, which won't be there. It's just, you know, a volunteer seed, and it won't be there next year, but the sage will be very nice there. What else did I plant? Oh, I planted the black-eyed Susans here, as you can see here, right there. So that'd be nice there. That'll add a nice bit of color amongst here. And I also planted the heucheras. Well, I didn't plant that one. Like I said, I'm going to put it here, but I want to wait until that coleus. I can pull it out, and then I can plop that heuchera in there. I'll take you down to the front. Definitely made a mess, but I mean, sometimes it calls for a little bit of a mess. I clipped everything, as you can see. I clipped my elephant ears. I clipped my golden arborvitae. I clipped my crepe myrtle, the barberry bush, coneflower, creeping jenny. I clipped everything to make everything look a little bit more neater. I took the barberry up a bit, provide some airflow. I put this heuchera in here, which has that nice color, which works well with the barberry. I moved this pot back. The pot was forward. I moved it back. I'm going to get rid of this rose bush, and this is where one of those hibiscus is going to go. But there were a ton of ants. Oh, nope, not Michael. Michael, no, it's not my... Okay, I'm going to try to get this done quick. People coming up blasting music. So I'm going to put the hardy hibiscus here, I think. Yeah, so, but it was a ton of ants, so I had to put some cinnamon down. If you don't know, cinnamon will not kill ants, but it will make them go somewhere else. So put some cinnamon here and across the front here because the ants were really thick. But other than that, this is what it looks like. There's a great view here. Gives you different levels. It looks pretty lush. But yeah, so that's all I want to do. I'm going to clean this mess up, and I'm going to go inside and get me some water. But yeah, so that's after a little bit of midsummer or end of summer, no, midsummer cleanup looks like. All right, peace of blessings and happy growing.